Good evening, everyone. Welcome to tonight's episode of Through It All. I trust we are all good, and I hope the weather is really good on your side also. These days it rains and stops and rains again. All right. And I pray that that's how the blessings of God will be raining into your life. You know, there's that hymn that we always sing, there shall be showers of blessings. This is the promise of God. You know, the chorus says, showers of blessings we need. Mercies drop, round us are falling, but the showers we need. You know, recently I just told myself, yes, I'm seeing those mercy drops, but I need that blessing to pour. All right. So maybe you also need to start praying these days that God, thank you for the mercy drops. They are dropping, yes, but let it pour. Let it pour. I need that outpouring of your blessings, of your goodness, of your favor, of your mercy. It will come in Jesus' name. You know, I was reading the Bible recently, and I got to this story in Kings. That was Second Kings chapter 21, from verse 19 to 22. The Bible was talking about the next king that started reigning over Israel. His name was Amnon. Amnon happened to be the son of Manasseh. And the Bible said Manasseh was a bad king. He did everything evil. Anything that you can call evil, he did. And then when Manasseh died, his son Amnon became king. You know, the next thing I was looking out for was that, so what type of king was Amnon? And the Bible said Amnon took after his father. You know, he did evil in the eyes of the Lord, verse 20, as his father Manasseh had done. He followed completely the ways of his father, worshiping idols his father had worshipped, bowing down to them. He forsook the Lord, the God of his ancestors, and did not walk in obedience to him. You know, and something just hit me. It's almost natural when fathers are bad, their children will be bad, except the Lord helps such children. So when I read the story of Manasseh and they said, okay, Amnon became king, I was looking out if Amnon will just be someone that will not take after his father. But the Bible said he followed completely the ways of his father. So fathers, what legacy are you laying for your children or your sons actually? What are those things you're doing? Your son is studying you, is observing you. When you are gone, and you know, Yorubas have a proverb, if you say you want to resemble someone, somehow you will do more than that person. So fathers, please mind the things you do, mind the ways you talk, mind the places you go, mind what you do on your phone, even in these days of the phone. Mind the type of music you listen to. Mind your language anywhere you are. Your son, well, especially your son. Most times the fathers are always the role models of the sons. So if you are bad, your son is going to be almost 10 times worse than you. So be very careful. All right. And of course, you know, Yorubas also have a proverb, is the type of trait that the mother embarks on, the daughter also will take after you. So parents, you need to be very careful. We talk about bad children in this generation, and most times when we see wayward children, children doing things that they are not just it in the society. We need to check out who the parents are, how the parents are. Please, let's be very careful what we do. Amnon did completely, exactly the things his father did. All right, so talking about parenthood, my guest tonight is an expert in that field, and is going to really be talking to us. All right. So before we go into that, if you are new even to the program, this is True It All. True It All is all about encouragement. It's all about hope. It's all about letting people know that whatever you're going through now, somebody has been there before, and somehow God has taken such people to the other side for good. So if it can happen to them for good, it's going to be your portion also. And I've been through everything. I've been through many trials in life. I've suffered so much, a lot of challenges, a lot of tribulations. But to the glory of God, the Bible says, many are the afflictions of the righteous. The Lord delivers him from them all. The Lord has been faithful to me. And so I wrote a book to capture almost all those challenges I'd been through and how the solutions came. So the title of the book is Through It All. If you have not read Through It All, I actually will admonish you to do so, because you're going to gain a lot of strength, a lot of encouragement, even as you do so. So visit tia.com.ng, and you will get a copy. And if this is your first time of joining the program, just leave it in the comment section below that you are new here, and I'm going to send a free copy to you, and it's going to be the soft copy. So just let me know. And if you're also new here, make sure you subscribe to my channel, like this video, watch other videos in my channel. I'm so sure you are going to be blessed, so much blessed. And I wanted to share this video with others, with parents, with children that you think are going wayward. I'm so sure they will be so blessed. Is that okay? All right. So thank you very much. We go into the business of tonight. My guest tonight is an expert when it comes to parenthood and the issue of children. So without wasting any other time, let me welcome Mr. Akinola Akinropo. You are welcome, my brother. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you, sir.
So nice to have you here.
It's a pleasure for me also to be here.
Wow. We have been friends for quite a while, and almost everywhere we see ourselves. But thank God that is your turn on True It All tonight. All right, so as is our tradition on the program, I always allow my guests to properly introduce themselves so that no information is left out. You know yourself better than any other person. So you're going to be introducing yourself to us, my brother, and then after that, I would ask you to go into your story. So who is Akinola Akinropo?
My name is Akinola Akinropo, and my job basically centers around fatherhood, parenting, and child development. So what I do basically is to help fathers and every other adult around the children to script empowering culture, tradition, and belief system so they can help themselves first before they help the children they raise. Because why do we do that? When I started this parenting ministry professionally, effectively in 2011, we were going around to schools, we were meeting parents, we were talking to them that they need to change. You know, you don't do your children like this. Do you want your children to turn, don't you want them to turn better than who you are? So there was a problem in that area because we were facing uphill task. Why did I say that? Because we were talking to the adults who have already been formed, adults who have lived with disempowering culture, tradition, and belief system. So it's going to be pretty difficult for them to listen, to change to what we're saying, you know, to be receptive to what we're saying. If, first of all, we don't change the thinking of the adults, if you don't help them to change their belief system, to change their tradition, to change their culture, it's going to be difficult for them. So if we are looking for appreciable and desirable results from today's children, the first assignment for us to do is to face the adults first. Let us talk to them. When we talk to them, we try to change their orientation. When we change their orientation, they become more receptive to what we want to teach. So they accept that and they introduce the same thing to their children. So when adults, fathers, parents, and mothers, when they come to our academy, the first thing we introduce them to is what we call belief assessment, belief and culture assessment. So based on that, based on their responses, we will know how we are going to make the content to be tailor-made towards their need. So we don't give the same content to everyone or every one of adults who come to our academy. So that is why we have that niche. And what we do is to help fathers, mothers, and every adult around the children to script empowering belief system for themselves first before same thing is transferred to the children. So that is what I do basically.
Wow, wow. I think you are doing a very great job. And you are doing something very needful in this time that we are in. Things are really gradually turning upside down, and parenting is becoming more difficult because the children are exposed to a lot of other things that are giving them the counterproductive, parental approaches, you know. So I think it's a very great thing you're doing. Well done, Akinola. So before you go fully into the aspect of parenting and the Gen Zs and how the parents can understand their Gen Zs and everything, you know, I'm curious to hear your story. So from whether from childhood or whatever, I want you to tell us your story.
Wow. Thank you, sir, Uncle Kola, for bringing me up once again. And first of all, sir, I must acknowledge your energy. I must appreciate you because when I came in contact with you about years ago, about years, and I called you, I said I needed your book, and I read the book. In fact, I should have come back to you, sir. I need to buy the extra book because there was a guy, my daughter's friend, when this boy was traveling to US in 2019, because the guy had a serious challenge right from birth. He never knew his dad. His mom was just telling him that, don't worry, your dad is somewhere. So when this guy turned to 14, the dad came to look for him. So when dad came to look for him here, the dad was in Port Harcourt. This boy was in Lagos. So the dad came to look for him. So the guy went to meet the dad, spent like 1 month with the dad. But instead for them to, for the dad to use the opportunity to start the bonding proper, the man just scattered everything. The man called the guy, started lambasting the guy that it was not his dad. So here was a man who genuinely came to Lagos to fetch for this guy only for the guy to just, so this boy cried, cried, cried. So by the time the guy got back to school, the guy couldn't cope. He couldn't cope again. So,
Wow.
and so later, the mom too felt bad. So the mom now, the mom cousin, now requested that this boy should be brought to United States of America, so that because the guy felt he was being shamed, he was being called all manners of things. And I called this guy. I said, don't, before you go, let me have a pep talk with you. I once faced something similar to what you are facing now, but through it all, I I came out of it strong. So when he now came to our house with his mom, and I brought your book out. I said, I have read this book 5 times since I had it.
Wow.
Since I had it, I've read it. Because the first time I read it, I was so emotional, I was shedding tears. Second time, I was shedding tears. But the third time, I'd grown thick skin. I said, waiting. Let me just do as if I'm watching a movie that is not real, so that I can enjoy everything there. So I now gave the guy, I said, when you are in the plane, start to read this book. Now tell me that what this author has gone through. Now tell me if you had ever gone through 5% what this author has gone through. So take this book along. Anywhere you go, read it, and read it all over again. So anytime this guy wants to have a chat with me, he will always refer to the book. That anytime he feels down, that some challenges are creeping up, he will just go to that book. Was just like his Bible. He will just go through that book, that if this man can survive all these challenges in his life, I'm going to survive. So the book has helped the guy, and is still helping the guy. The guy told me that of a truth, that he doesn't think he has experienced 5% of what you went through. So I got the book, I gave him, the book is useful to him now. So I read the book. So, and I look at your life, sir. And that, what you wrote there gave me serious, motivation. Let me just put it there, motivation. The nuggets that you put in that book, they were so top notch. So thank you, sir, for giving us that book. And also thank you for the background check business that you are doing. I go to your page almost every day on Facebook and Instagram, and I get nuggets there also.
Wow.
So thank you for what you do. You've been a great inspiration to my generation. Thank you, sir.
Thank
So
you,
now,
bro. Sorry,
yes, sir.
Bracky.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much. The way you were talking, even me, you are now making me feel emotional. Because at times, the testimony that I get from the book, I really I get so humbled. One very wonderful sister, she went on a retreat. She wanted to really have a good time with God, and she took the book along. And she said at the point, God said, this is your retreat, start reading that book. And she said, no, I'm here to pray. And she said, God said, start reading. And she said, by the time she finished, everything she was going to ask God, she was getting answers straight from the book. And so after the retreat, she said, I'm coming to your office. I said, please come. And then we now continued from there. I think I would really love to really get in touch with this young man you spoke about, if you don't mind.
I will surely do. I will surely do.
I would really love to also really take it beyond the book and really begin to talk one-on-one to him also. I really appreciate that.
Yes, sir.
All right. So thank you for that, Bracken. Now
Yes,
I'm
sir. So now my personal story. Well, I am a child that God has helped. God has given the grace to survive turbulent childhood experiences, very toxic. Something that you can't say. You want to wish even your enemy to go through such horrendous experience that I went through. Okay, so I belong to a polygamous family. My dad married 7 wives, but the 7 wives didn't come at once. For better part of my dad's life, he died at in 2004 at age 75. So for better part of his life, 3 wives were with him. But when you have to sum everything together in the context of my story, because it's going to come out at the appropriate time in my autobiography. So he married 7. So children were 20, 24.
Wow.
So I don't know what brought about the hatred for me and for some of the children. I think it was later I knew what brought the hatred. So it was a police officer. I was a police officer. And my dad was heavily influenced by his mom, because the story we had was they suffered from this Abiku syndrome.
Okay.
So before my dad came up, my grandparents had 8 children. 8 children. They've had eight children before my dad came up. So after my dad, then his younger brother. Then after his younger brother, about three died thereafter. So when my dad married the first wife had 2 girls. The second wife had 2 girls. So my grandmom now went to meet my dad. That, is this how you are going to continue? 2 wives, 4 girls. So don't you know that these women don't have the grace or what it takes to give you a son? And you know what me and your dad faced before we had you. So please give us a son. So my dad got the 3rd wife, which happened to be my mom. So my mom gave him the first male child, which is my elder brother.
Okay.
Elder brother. So, the ecstasy, all those happiness, that I had a baby boy in this part of the world. So my dad had everything. Hey, later some other boys now came. So I happened to be in the middle. So for all I can remember, I just discovered that from age 8, thereabout, I wasn't feeling the love of a father.
Okay.
I wasn't feeling it. My dad was harsh. Wasn't really, the harshness wasn't towards me. It was not towards me alone, to some other siblings also, right? But at a point when I got to the age of 12, it was like everything now said, the whole hatred now centered around me. Why? Because some of my siblings had run out of the house.
Wow.
Because of my father's high-handedness, they left the home, and even some of them, their mothers were subjected to some abusive abusive words, because the children ran away from home. So the whole nature was not centered around me. Something I was supposed to enjoy, I wasn't enjoying it, and as a matter of fact, no mother was able to say anything. Whatever our dad said was the final. Wow. Even though he wasn't always around, but we were at the mercy of his brother, my uncle. It was his mercy. So a lot of things you feel that you enjoy, that you feel other children in your area and the society enjoy, you don't enjoy it. Now, there was TV. My uncle had just one box TV. I think President, yes, President. The maker is President. he had it. So he will always switch it off for us not to watch. But any attempt for any one of us to go to the neighbor's house to go and watch TV, this man will beat us. And nobody, not even his wife, was able to ask him, to challenge him that why won't these guys go to watch TV in the neighbor's house, in the neighborhood? You had TV, you locked it, you will not allow them to watch. Even when the TV was there, nobody dared go and put it on until this man was a bit happy after some bottles of trophy. So that was when he would now, please, yeah, come and watch. I remember 1980 during the Cup of Nations, Nigeria versus Algeria, and that Nigeria won that match. That was the first time. How old was I then? I was so young, 8. That was when this man introduced me to alcohol, introduced everybody to alcohol, right? So immediately Nigeria scored the second goal. This man said, every one of us, he gave us a cup each. Have a taste. Have a taste. Drink. We are winning. We have won this cup. And, everybody felt that, this thing is different. Look at the way it tasted. So a lot of toxic experiences were introduced into our life. So this man also played pool betting. The man who used all our names for pool betting. The man will even tell us to just pick a number or 3 numbers randomly. 3 numbers. I think that one is snapping. I think three numbers. I think that one is snapping. Pam is 3 from 5. It's 3 from 5. And napping carries more weight, carries more more reward than Pammy, 3 from 5. So if you pick 3 numbers and all the 3 numbers that you picked went through, and you are happy, the following and the second day, which was Saturday or Sunday, the man will always be like, come, your head is good, you are okay. But if you pick 3 numbers and none of those numbers went through, you are in trouble that day. This man will beat you, that you carry bad luck. So you can see a lot of things that were introduced to us. Another one too, in 1981, thereabout, when, during the era of politics, they brought every one of us around 8 p.m. And because they said in their meeting that everybody, now my uncle now, my dad was apolitical because he was a police officer. So they brought us out that we should gaze into the moon, that Babawolo was going to appear 8 o'clock on that day. So we gazed into the moon, and I said, he was asking, did you see anything? I said, I didn't see Babawolo in the moon. This man gave me a hot knock. As I'm talking now, I could still feel the sound of that knock on my head.
Wow.
Immediately he gave me that knock, Omale, you won't see, bastard. You won't see. Immediately I heard that, I felt the pain. I said, yes, Motiri Baba. My other siblings who are seeing what befell me immediately said that, hey, Baba, whoa, Baba, hey. So when you look at that, sir, hypocrisy has been introduced into my life at childhood, which means as I grew up in life, I need to lie to please some people. I needed to lie to make me feel validated. I needed to lie to get me validated. I needed to lie to do some things. What I did not see, I needed to say, I saw it. So if 5 people were in a hall and the teacher sampled our opinion that what is it that was up there, I was prone to follow what the first person has said. So I wasn't brought up to think independently. And this thing actually injured my life, and I carried this car till I got to secondary school. From secondary school to polytechnics because I attended a federal polytechnic in Laro at old age, at 22. At 22, I wrote my WAEC twice. The first WAEC I wrote was in 1987. So, unexpected. What do you expect from somebody who had gotten, everything about me was barren. Everything about me was barren. There was nothing. There was no life in me. I went into the exam hall with nothing. So, and when the result came out, I only had maybe like 2 papers, Yoruba, P8 in Yoruba. I don't know the other, I think, yes, commerce. Commerce too, I had P8. Every other subject, F9 parallel.
Wow.
F9 parallel. So now, by that time, my mom had left my dad. My mom left my dad in 1984. So, but I love my dad. I don't know for reason best known to God. I don't think I know the reason why I still love him. I stayed with him. I made sure that I didn't follow my mom. So later, when my mom now saw that result, my mom had to pull me out that this is not so right. I didn't still want to go. I didn't still want to follow my mom because I didn't want my dad to be angry until sometimes in February 1988. Something just happened. From nowhere, my dad threw me out of the house. He threw me out of the house. I was crying. The tenants were begging on my behalf. The man said, no. He doesn't just want to see him again. No, what? I don't want to see him. Let him just go. I was crying. And my dad threatened that if he comes back and met me in the house, that, I'm a police officer, I'll probably shoot you and I will defend before the government why I shot you. So it's better you leave. So I left. So I now went back to Form 4. Because my mom knew that, my mom was a teacher. She knew that this result was so woeful that if you write it again, you are probably still going to fail. So it's better you have a long time to prepare for this exam. So that was what I did. I went to Form 4. Now did the WAEC again in 1989. So then when I did it again and I read it very well, I knew I needed to prove a point, just to tell my dad that, I did well. I'm not that Olodo that he had branded me. It was some circumstances that made me fail. So when that result came out, I passed very well. I had 3 A's. Then every other C. So I was so happy, and I went to him that, Dad, this is, and I said, Maleo, that you, how could you have gotten all this? I said, sir, I did not. That I did everything well. He said that he doesn't have my trust that I could pass so well like that. Maybe I cheated, and I said I did not. So anyway, so I had my result. Everything he was doing, that he just doesn't want to have any part, in funding my education. And I went back to my mom. This is what my dad said. And she said, okay, no problem, that for this, she would take it up, that she would do everything. So, the toxic childhood experiences I had still hasn't left me. Because by the time I got to my mom, I became a terror. Because while I was with my dad, I was caged. Everything within me was bottled. I mean, was sealed, was suppressed. Everything, all the childhood exuberances I should have exhibited at age 13, age 12, 13, 14, 15, thereabout, were suppressed. So it was when I now became 18, 19, something I should have outgrown. I started exhibiting it with my mom, that I will not work. I would wake up in the morning, I wouldn't do anything. If my mom told me to go and wash her clothes or wants to send me on errand, I would shout at her. No, I can't do anything. No, I can't. So it was one of my aunties that understood me. It was her that said, don't you know what this guy is going through? Is the fact that when he was with his dad, he wasn't given freedom to express himself. But now he's with you. He wants to express himself. He wants to be free. And I was the time I told my mom, I said, I don't think I'm here to wash any plate or to wash any cloth or to do anything, because all those things I have done it when I was with my dad. And of course, I really did that very, very well. So if my dad called me to sweep the floor, if he told me to sweep that floor once, I would sweep it almost 10 times. And there was a reason like that. I wanted to satisfy him. I wanted his validation by all means. Then my dad was a Muslim. Before he died, he was a Muslim. So I knew that he would go to mosque by 5:30. And woe befall me if my dad woke up before me. If he ever woke up before me, I'm in trouble. So I will always, once I wake up several times for years in the night, just to see the time. Okay, it's still 2 a.m. I can still sleep. Oh, it's still 3 a.m. I can still sleep. And once it was 4:30, I was up. I will be sweeping the house, sweeping the compound. What I was not supposed to do, I will be doing it. Because I wanted my dad, I was looking for that good word to say, well done. You are a good boy. Because he never said you're a good boy. I love, okay, what is I love? That was too luxury. that one was too luxury. So he never said, well done. He never. No, there is no amount of effort I put in that work that my dad would tell me that well done. So there was a day something happened. There was a moment something happened to my dad. He had one terrible sore on his leg, and they needed some herbs. They told him that it's not about orthodox medication. It has to be, traditional medication. So one man came and told my dad to buy, the bark of the tree, some leaves, everything. So my dad had called me that, okay, go to the market, make sure you buy this 100 naira, this. All of a sudden, my dad just felt, why am I even giving you money to buy this? My friend, enter the bush, go and look for all this agbo.
What gave him the assurance that you know what to look for?
That I will pick the right one. He said, I said, I won't know now. It's the only one I think I will know about in those agbo is ewe dogoyaro. That dogoyaro leaves.
And that one is common.
That one was popular then. So my dad said that I should be asking people. He said, you must come back to this house with those leaves and the back of the tree. Sir, lo and behold, I came back with them. Because I just wanted him to be happy. I wanted him to say, Omodadanye. He never. The only time my dad said, Omodadanye, you're a good boy, was the day of my wedding, my engagement. Because a year before then, we had made up. And that was 2002. We made up in 2002. He begged me that he was sorry. He didn't know what he was doing then, that if he had the opportunity, he would do it better again and again, that I should just forgive him. He was sorry. He was shedding tears. I said, okay, no problem. So 2003, on my engagement, wedding day, when he said he wanted to talk, I told the MC not to give him the mic. But eventually, my dad maneuvered the MC. He collected the mic and he was talking. He was pouring out his mind that this boy is God that has saved him because he wished me dead. A lot of things. So I was even trying to tell him, it's okay. I have to stand up. My mom had to stand up and hug him and collected the mic from him. My dad was shedding tears. It was okay. So that was when he died, October 19, 2004. It actually pained me because we had made up and I wanted the love, that father's love. I wanted it badly. Even though he was old, I still wanted him around me. What he did not say to me, those sweet words, he never said to me, I wanted it from a father. I just wanted to make up, but he didn't wait. So a lot of those experiences, sir, did affect my family life, first of all, my personal life. How did it affect me personally? All through my entire stay in my school, higher institution, Federal Polytechnic, Ilaru, I was looking for validation from people. Somebody will offend me. It was that person that offended me, that was guilty. I will be begging because I wanted somebody to play with me. I wanted somebody to say, you're a great guy, because something I didn't get from my dad. So where I was supposed to speak out among my friends, I lost my voice, even though I knew the discussion, especially about the politics of MPN, UPN. Shagarawolo were then in Ibadan, Akinjide, Akinloye, Busari, Adelagun, all those old politicians. I knew all those stories. So in school, where I was supposed to voice out, to say something, I could not. What of if I say something now and they shut me down? Because severally, a lot of things that I did right before my dad turned it upside down, that I didn't do it right. There was a time in 1980, sometimes in December, yes, December 1985. Yes, December 1985. Something, Chief Obafemi was still alive then. So he granted press interview in Nigeria Tribune there, and the editor captured it. I was sad. And the body of the message of the interview was that the way Babangida was running the affairs of the government, even though he took over, I'm so sorry, Buhari then, Babangida hadn't come in, that he took over, the way he was doing it, he wasn't doing it fine, Nigeria will soon go down. So I was sad. So when I saw the paper, I was reading it, and my dad said, because we came to Lagos to meet him at Mushin Barak then, my dad said, what do you think is there that they wrote that you are reading? I said, at my age, I know what is there now. I was sad. Inu Baba Wolowo dun. What is there? Is that what they wrote? Give me the paper, George. That's not what they wrote. I was like, he said, that was not what they wrote. You don't know anything. So when he went to work, so my brother had woken up then. My half brother had woken up. Elder brother had woken up. And I showed him that, but that's also, see this now. What is that? Isn't what Chief Awolowo said? My brother said that, yes, now, but I told Alhaji. Alhaji said I didn't get it right. My brother said, leave Alhaji alone. You know now, Alhaji will always look for your trouble, just to look for something just to downplay you. Don't worry, just forget. So when it came that night, I sat by TV I was watching TV, news at 9. I was listening. I wanted to prove him wrong that I hear English now. So I was there, I wanted to ask me, what did they say again? My dad did not ask. The only thing my dad said that, when look at this one, he will just pay rapt attention to TV as if he knows what they are saying. Oh my God. So the morale, everything about me was, in total disarray. So I took that to school, whereby I needed people to validate me. At times, I wanted. So one day, they were having a discussion, student representative council, all those things. They were talking, and I knew they were wrong. They didn't know what they were saying. But the fear was in me. I couldn't stand up to say, this is what was happening. It was when we now got back home to my hall that I was now telling them that all those, they didn't know what they're saying. This is what happened. And it was this year. And this was the total state that Chief Obafemi Awolowo won. This is why 12 tutor came in. So my friends now said that, why didn't you speak out? I said I did. I couldn't. Don't worry. So then when I saw some of my mates, when I saw their dads visiting them, it was like a taboo for me. At this your age, at 22, 23, 24, how will your dad be visiting you in the school? I can still pardon, I can still accept it if your mom comes. How can your dad and your mom be coming to visit you? So it was like an abomination to me, that because I never experienced that. I never saw that. So one day, and I round it off now, one day, my neighbor on campus then, his dad and mom came to visit him severally. Then we were at OND 200 level. Severally, they came to visit him. I think this guy now told his parent that this is because I told the guy what I was going through, that it's only my mom that was taking care of my need on campus. My dad never wanted anything to do with me. So he now told his parents. So his dad now came to meet me in my room. Then his dad said that Ayo has told him everything that I was going through. The man now said that he can see, now you have your life to live. Nobody will pardon you for your failure on the strength that your dad neglected you. How old are you now? I told the man, I'm 25. The man said, at 25, you should be able to think through your life. So forget about what your dad has done to you. Forget about what anyone has done to you. You need to reshape your life. You need to do some things right. So the man, first of all, led me to Christ because they were Christian. They are Christians. He led me to Christ. He said, okay, I know you're a Muslim, but if you don't mind, can I pray with you? You give your life to Christ. I said, okay, no problem, I will. But, later, I still felt that the man just took advantage of me. It's because he wanted to give me, he just wanted to give me 1,000. So I still continued my life until, again, another friend now came. We were on holiday then. His name is Tony. He now came to beat me that, Rashid, this is what is happening. I think just once and for all, accept Christ to your life. So he prayed with me. He preached. So he will always follow up. Always come to come and pick me on Wednesdays. That was when we always have our fellowship there. He would take me to church. So from there, I began to grow, in faith, everything. I would ask questions. Meanwhile, the childhood experiences were still hurting me. Wow. Because every one of us is a product of our early emotional life. And that was why the Manasseh example that you gave, it was what his son saw his father do that he followed. So that thing formed part of our subconscious mind. It forms part of our subconscious mind. It was what I saw my dad do that I would be doing. Those I saw my uncles, everyone around me do that I will be doing when I become adult. So we're all products of our early emotional life. Now, how did this one play out? When I got married, I never liked what my dad did. The way my dad shouted at his wives, I never liked. Only one out of the 7 wives my dad had, only one could look my dad in the face. And that one that looked my dad in the face knew where she landed.
Wow.
Nobody, none of the wives. So when I got married, I was doing almost the same thing my dad did to his wife, to my wife. I would be shouting at her. Meanwhile, I never liked what my dad did. I would be shouting. My wife would not be saying, is this how you want to live your life? You'd be shouting at me. And you told me your dad did this. You are behaving the same way. I said, no, don't go there. I'm not behaving the same way. I'm not behaving the same way. So all those things followed me. The first 5 years of our marriage was turbulent. I never beat my wife, but I wasn't giving her the right attention. The children that I claimed I loved, the two children, my firstborn in 2004, the second in 2007, that I thought that I loved them then, I wasn't doing the right thing for them. So it was when my marriage was going to 6th year, that was when I began to look at myself, that what is happening to me? Egbo. I now wrote, I was looking for a coach then. I just wanted somebody to shape my life. So I was looking for someone to talk to me. And I met a friend that told me, just design your life. What do you want? So, and I began to write everything, how my dad lived his life, those anger issues, those money issues, my dad never had any friend. He never, if any friend came to visit you, my dad will ask you, since you know me, how many friends have you seen visiting me? If any friend has visited me at all, it's only one. Alaji Tabale, only one. And my dad would say that only one. He said he just started allowing that one to visit him in 1975. So if you've not seen me with any friend, you don't have any right to bring any friend inside. Sir, do you know what that one has caused? That one had shattered any value of relationship.
Wow.
In the children. So that was why initially in my life, I found it difficult to sustain relationship with any friend. I just unlearned that in the last 8 years. And my strongest value now is relationship. Because I knew this was one of my father's undoing. My dad would prefer to stay indoor from morning till evening. He was comfortable with himself. While he was at the police force, once he finished from the office, he was coming to the house. He would rather sleep than you see him with any friend.
Wow.
So I unlearned everything. Now, until 2011, I was praying to God. God, I've heard Fela Durotoye speak, I've heard pastors speak that you need to connect with your purpose in life. What is it that God has called you to do to affect the life of people? What you are doing it may not necessarily be your purpose. You need to connect, because I was a banker up to 2005. Then I left for private business, financial brokerage. That was when I still do that today. So I just wanted, so I was praying. I soaked myself, in prayer and fasting that God connect me. What is it that you have called me for? So I just slept and I had a dream. I just saw that hand. He wrote parenting. That hand wrote it out like this. I was looking at the hand, and that dream came twice in the same night. It came twice. Parenting, parenting, parenting. So the first time I woke, I said, what is this parenting care? I woke my wife. What's the problem? Is there anything we are not getting right in the way we parent our children? Did any one of them do something that we did not act? He said, nothing. I said, this. I said, I pray, I slept again. So that word came again. That parenting. So then I wasn't attending Daystar then. And I saw Pastor Nika Adeyemi. She sat with me on the bed. She now opened the Bible. She was now taking me through where God mentioned parenting in the Bible. This. So I just woke up like this. I said, yes, God has answered the prayer. God has given me my ministry. Yes. That was when I now started to do it. I had gone into it until 2015. That was when I remembered that there were some things I missed at childhood. I missed fatherly love, parental care. I missed it. So I began to say, oh, no wonder God brought me into this ministry to correct today's parents, today's father, if they are not doing anything right in their children. I say, wow. So it is true that what happens to be our greatest challenge is what God is going to use to lift us up. And we begin to preach the same, because the Bible said that I will comfort you so that you too can comfort.
You become a comfort to others.
Of comfort to others. I said, oh, so in that 2015, when it dawned on me, oh, I missed this. Oh my God. I was now happy that I will never allow any child to suffer unnecessary, untold hardship in the hand of his or her dad or mother. I will never, because when I recollect what I went through, sir, as a teenager, I will cry to sleep and cry to wake up. When you sleep and you are crying, you'll be doing like this. I will be doing it such that even my other siblings in the house, they would hear it. And instead, even for my dad or my stepmom then, for them to know what caused this, when I wake up, they will still lambast me that I was disturbing people's sleep. Wow. So you can see, so a lot of some parents that we see today, they've not really, decluttered themselves of those toxic childhood experiences. They still brought it into their marriage, and that's why some of them are so hard. They are so hard now. They will tell you, if you tell them to come for a parenting class, academy, father, all those things, they will say that which training did their parents go for? And they parent them, and they are like this. And it's something they did. And that's why we are like this. And we are here. I always tell people, that is not a good testimony. That is not a good testimony. Because if you are saying it's because they beat hell out of you, it's because they broke something on your head to reset your brain that made you turn this way. How about someone who was never beaten, who was never given any knock on the head, and the person too turned well? Have you ever evaluated your life? Who told you you turned out well? with due respect to everybody, it is not in my place to tell you not to beat your children when they do something wrong. It depends on what you want. So when people ask us about child discipline, I always say that it was when I started before. I was saying, no, don't ever beat your, no. I don't tell them not to beat. What I ask them is, what do you want to achieve? Are you looking for immediate obedience? So if you are looking for immediate obedience, then you can beat your children the same way they beat me. My dad was looking for immediate obedience, and I gave him. I gave him. But when I got to my mom couldn't beat me. And I told her, I said, see, my dad couldn't have suppressed every good thing in me. Then I will come here also. You two want to put me in prison. It will never happen. I told my mom at 18, at 19, I said, it will never happen. Because that thing that has been suppressed in me found the expression one day. It found the expression, and that's what I always tell parents. Go for educational approach of discipline. Go for educational approach of discipline such that when you are not there, these guys will have learned skill on how to correct themselves when they are going south.
Exactly.
You will have taught them skill. You will have taught them that next time you find yourself in this position, don't do it. These are the skills. These are the strategies for you not to fall into this temptation. These are the strategies for you to reach. These are the strategies for you for success. These are the strategies for you to go above any challenge in life. So those children will always remember that, because the parents have given them educational approach of discipline. So, and that is what we preach to parents. We need to give these guys great future. And now, sir, the problem we are facing now about Gen Z, right? It was a problem or challenges our own parents never envisaged.
Exactly.
They thought every child that will come thereafter is still going to meet industrial revolution that we were raised for. The Gen Z, this is a generation that our parents and even by and large, the educational system here in Nigeria did not prepare for. They still felt that everybody, our own generation, a generation next, which were made for industrial revolution. So the curriculum did not change. A lot of things didn't change. And boom, Gen Z hit the ground effectively 2000. With the coming of internet, Google, everything, YouTube, everything came in, Facebook and other apps came in. And this thing gave these guys, artificial intelligence, then artificial lifestyle.
Yeah.
So what do parents go into? Parents still using the same force they used against us. They still want to use it against this guy. And that is why they will always revolt. And that's why it will not look like they don't listen. But if you want them to listen, you study them. And that is why there's a special training we have for them about the Gen Z. We really want to teach parents on how to study these guys. Gen Z, we are not saying that Gen Z should be allowed to go brazenly in error without any control, without discipline. Of course, any Gen Z that does anything, that you discipline. There are ways to discipline them that they will be begging you. They've been begging you that, no, mommy, what, daddy, oh, what is it? Let us do this thing right. But we have to start early. And so when parents come to our academy, okay, now, concerning the academy, pathway to fatherhood, especially for fathers now, pathway to fatherhood, another diet is coming up in August.
Okay.
Another diet is coming up in August. So by next week, we are going to post the dates and how people can really access this. But for now, if they want to access it, they can go to www.parentmarkacademy.com. www.parentmark, PARENMARK, academy.com.
Okay.
So they can just go there and register. But the proper registration is coming up next week, whereby fathers can go. I mean, father can. It's online.
Okay.
It's online, but there's going to be Zoom interaction with our facilitators. So when they appear or when they come for this training, so we just want every father to be alive, because when I look at the life of my dad, he had a good heart, to train his children, but he lacked mental capacity to do so. So I have worked with fathers. I believe that every father has gotten good heart to father or to parent, to nurture their children. At least everyone that I've worked with, about 98% of fathers, they have good hearts. Because I don't think there is any father that will bring a child to this world and the next thing you want to do to that child is, I don't want you again. If we have about 100 fathers, you will hardly find 5 fathers in that spectrum. So, but what almost every father fight, the battle they fight is mental capacity. And this mental capacity has its rules on how every father was raised. Like I said the other time, every one of us is a product of our early emotional life. So you have seen the way your father parented you. You have seen the way your father bullied your mom. You have seen the way your father bullied you. You have seen the way your father bullied everybody in society. You have seen all those. So subconsciously, you have seen them. And our subconscious mind takes about 95% of our attitude in life.
So true. So true.
So it is what you see the father do that you too want to do. So for you to correct that, you have to go for, mental brain surgery. Just like Pastor Sam will always say that somebody called him a brain surgeon. So fathers will have to go, for that brain surgery. The mental ability, you need to know that, fine, you have the good heart, but you have the mental capacity.
How to play it out.
To play it out.
Yeah.
Do you have the right content? Do you have the right template to play this out? So I'm begging every father, we want these children to be better than us. We don't want to leave them the same way our own father left us. And you can see now, AI, Chat GPT, all those things, they're available for them. And let me now say this, sir, so that every father that will hear this, or parent, any parent, adult that will hear this, they must take care of it very well. I want to, please, they should ask themselves, honest question. When their children are in university, do they fall back to ask them some questions the way they used to when they were under them? No. No, they don't. They rather go to their friends, they go on the way AI, they go to ChatGPT to ask all those things.
Exactly.
They ask them, and these people, they don't even want to hear almost everyone, some of them don't want to hear anything about religion, want to hear anything about God, because what they are seeing around them is not reflecting who true God is. They've seen their father behave anyhow. And the father so far had represented the image of God in the house. So the father had not portrayed the true image of God to them in the house. So they tend to behave anyhow. And that was why I posted something on my thread today. I was talking about, I first posted it on Facebook last week. I was talking about anytime God wants to talk to the children of Israel, or even children of Israel wants to ask something from God, they always leverage activities of Abraham. They always leverage activities, greatness of Abraham. And that's why you'll always see that our forefathers have told us what you did for them in the time of old, how you rescued them, not on account of their boldness, but by your right hand of righteousness, by your help, by your mercy, you have helped them. How did they know? Because their father told them what God did for Jacob, what God did for Abraham. So I now ask today's fathers, what story are you telling your children about God? What has God done to your grandfather? Or what greatness can be found in your ancestors that these children of today can leverage? We can't continue to tell these children that Abraham was great. God loved Abraham. Abraham. Who is Abraham? They are not seeing Abraham
in your life.
They are not seeing Abraham in your life. So you that they are seeing your grandfather's picture in your room that they know in the parlor, this is my granddad, this is great granddad, all those things. Have you been able to tell them the story of how your great granddad went hunting, and by the time he was coming back, he killed lion, he killed elephant, and the whole village, they assembled at our compound to come and feast with my granddad. Those stories will elicit emotional resilience in the life of these children, that once upon a time, our great-grandfather was a hunter. It's a good story. Once upon a time, my granddad was an astute civil servant. Once upon a time, my granddad was given this award because of his faithfulness, because of his truthfulness on the job. Do you understand, sir? So they will connect.
I actually do, bro. Rocking. I do. I know you can go on. I know you can go on and on. And you know, the beautiful thing I see you passing across to us today is something that is an offshoot of what was seemingly bad, terrible, that you went through when you were young. Now that is shaping who God wants you to be now. That you should be there, more like a signpost telling parents, especially fathers, this is the wrong way to train your children. This is the wrong way for you to role model your children. This is the right way. You understand? And
Yes,
so it's not that I read it in a book. It's not that one psychologist in US said this. This is my life. You understand? And I mean, I was writing some of the wrong things that parents have done to some of their children, killing their zeal, killing their intelligence, killing their confidence in themselves, making them look like fools. They come to you looking for validation, but you are comparing them. Is that what your mates are getting? You understand? So, I mean, very, very deep things that now affect children at adulthood. Some of them now get married, just like what you said, and we are seeing it play out. One of my, beloved daughter in the Lord, I'm sure she will be listening to this. We sat down recently and said, so what's the challenge you are having? She just felt things were not going well maritally. And we sat down and I said, you know what's wrong with you? You are reacting to what happened to you when you were young. You are trying to fight your husband as if your husband is your father because your father maltreated your mother.
Yeah.
You understand? So she's now seeing the husband as if this is my father. And she was always ready to fight. She was always aggressive. And thank God, God gave her a very, 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 very gentle man. So she was saying, I think something is wrong with me. So I now started analyzing things to her and said, it was what happened when you were young that is playing out now. And I said, your husband is not your father. Don't punish him for whatsoever mistake you think your father did. You understand? So it's taking a lot of work, which would not have happened if parents had known that you are killing these children gradually. You are injuring them. You are distorting their psyche. All right, don't let me also start another. But sincerely speaking, I can listen to you for the next 24 hours and I would know you are talking from the burden of the things you had experienced in life. So you've told us the next course coming up
in August.
In August. What date is that again?
I want to check. I will look at the diary. I penciled that, but I can't just remember now whether 4 or 5. Whether 4 or 5, I will check.
Okay, all right. Okay,
yeah.
All right. Then I know this is a continuous thing.
Yes, sir.
So I want to admonish parents listening to this. Don't tell yourself, I know how these things are done. And that's the beauty of you seeking knowledge. Nobody knows it all. And listen to the way other people handle some of their parenting skills. You would discover that you can even be better than this. And I tell you, sincerely speaking, these children are not your own. God gave them to us. We are caretakers.
Yes,
But like the parable of the talent, a day is going to come. It's going to come for you to come give record of how what you did in the lives of these children. You understand, whether it be good, whether it be bad. Of course, if it's good, God will bless you. He will reward you. If you have treated them the way God never would treat his own children, there may be lashes for you. So it's never too late for you that have young children that you are not handling the right way. And for some of you that are now older, something happened when my dad listened to one of my videos where I said when he was teaching all my siblings how to drive, and he told me, Kola, you can't drive because you can't drive because of your disability. It got to that point in that video, and my father broke down and he started crying. He said, it's not as if I didn't want you to drive. I just was, because I said, Daddy, it's okay. You're not allowing me to drive then. Drove me to know how to learn to drive on my own. You brought something out of me. I'm not holding it against you. Sharing it in the video is just to encourage people, especially those with disability. It took me trying to tell my 90, 91, 92-year-old father that that is okay. It's not about you. Say, Kola Ali, I'm sorry. I would have said, it is not about you, daddy. You can understand all those things. Thank God that he was trying to call, it was there of consoling me, because how can you drive with one leg and there were three pedals? So he was looking into the future, that when you get older than this, you're going to be rich, you buy an automatic car, you know. But some parents do say, act in some very terrible ways to their children. Those children are taking it off you today. You understand? So we all made to get better at parenting. So that's why I love what Akinola is doing with his academy. Please apply. Thank God it's online. So it's not that I'm in Abeokuta or I'm in Onitsha. That's why I can't join. Please join. So in closing, bro Akinola, I know you've written books.
Yes, sir.
And of course, like we said, I know some of them are out of stock.
Yeah.
But for us to get them, even if it has to be that we are ordering ahead. So can you, in a matter of 1 minute, tell us what we should do?
Okay, this is what we do. They should just send for them. Okay, the Daddy Where Are You is out of stock, but we still have it
So,
in
Daddy,
soft
where
copy.
are you? That's the title of one.
That's title of one, because
Wow.
there's a personal story there that happened
Okay.
that gave birth to that book.
Wow.
So it's a story between or within me, my wife, and our son. So that story gave birth to that book. So it's out of stock, but they can still get it. They can still get soft copy. So anyone wants to get it soft copy, should just email me info at paremarkacademy.com.
Okay.
Info at
You will see it on the
in,
screen. They will see it on the
okay,
screen. So
okay,
it's okay.
info at paremarkacademy.com. Just do me a mail that you are interested in having soft copy of that. But another one for mothers, mommy no excuses, meaning that mommy now don't have excuses when daddies have shown up, that they are supposed to complement, not to compete with what fathers are doing. So those ones, if they want that one to, they should do me a mail. The mommy no excuses. We still have these hard copies. We still have about 300 in our store. Hard
Okay.
copies for mommy no excuses. So they should do me a mail. Just let me know that you got this message from Through It All
Great talk.
conversation with me. So then we give you a discount. But the bigger book is coming in November. That one is
Wow.
Pathway to Fatherhood.
Wow.
So I want to use that to commemorate my 50th birthday.
Wow. Happy birthday in advance.
Thank you, sir.
Wow. It's really been a very, very, very um, emotional night and also inspiring, very, very inspiring. Thank you so much, Brakenola, for
Thank you, sir.
taking us through the journey of your life. And then for some of us now, I can now properly understand how we got to the journey of you really having passion for parents. The Lord will continue to strengthen you in the name of
Thank
Jesus.
you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Well done. And
Welcome.
I think I'm still going to bring you back. Maybe when in November, I will bring you back and
Yes,
you're
sir.
going to, then now we already know your story. Then you do like a session for us on parenting and really using your book as a textbook for us then.
No problem, sir.
All right. Thank you so much, my brother. Right. My
Thank you, sir.
regards to my sister and
Yes,
those
sir.
two wonderful angels at home. Thank you
Amen. Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you. So
Yes,
thank you
sir.
everyone for going this journey with us tonight. I trust that somebody out there has really been blessed. We just need to learn how these things are done. For some of us really having issues with our children, please don't suffer in silence. Talk to me. And if it's something I can handle, fine. If I can't, I will pass you on to Akinola, Akinropo, and I'm so sure he will be able to help you and your children, please, or your child, no matter what the case is. So please don't suffer in silence. If you are having issues with your children, get in touch with me, 08026143683. Get in touch, and the Lord will raise help for you. And if any of your of our children is going wayward, please don't cry, suffer in silence. Also, cry out. I tell you, we have people that can really help you. Please don't suffer in silence. All right. And if you are new on Through It All, please leave a message in the comment section that you are new, and then I will welcome you to the party with a soft copy of my book, Through It All. And I hope you will read it. And the price to pay is that you must share with me the lessons learned from the book. Is that okay? All right. So Through It All happens every Thursday. Another great guest will be with us on the program next week. And if you've not read this book, I really want to admonish you to get a copy and read it. It's going to really encourage you. If you are going through any trouble in life, any challenge, anything that is making you feel like I need to take my life, I need to just die now, please don't kill yourself. Read this book and you will find hope to keep moving on in life. All right. So I'm so grateful for every one of you that have been here. You've watched the consequence of bad parenting. I pray that that will not be your portion in Jesus' name. Fathers, mothers, watch what you are doing. Your children are watching you, and it's what you do that may form their own life tomorrow. And if it's bad, they turn out bad, and the consequences will be on your neck. God forbid. All right, so please have a very wonderful evening and stay blessed. Bye, everyone.